I hope you're ready for annoying noises, because I love doing it for hot take courts. When you give your hot take, I will make a poll. Whatever the percentages of those poll is, as the person giving the hot take, I will then judge you and scrutinize you until we get to a point where I'm ready to give my verdict. I will then re-poll, and your job is to have more people agree with your take than there were at the start. This gives us mathematical, statistical proof of the hotness of your take. If you give a take, which is 50% of people agree and 50% disagree, that's that's pretty good. You only need to get a little bit. If you give a take that 99% of people agree with, you're going to real struggle to make that 1 extra percent agree with you. That's a cold take. That sucks. If only 1% of people agree with you, then your take was clearly too hot and you need to rethink it, but you could try and convince a few more people. If you fail to do so, there will be punishments. They're usually something silly like MS Paint yourself on fire or something like that. Does everyone understand? Are we ready for our first Defenders of the Day? Oh, for fuck's sake. I had this fixed and then it broke itself again. Ooh, okay. Let's get the poll up. On Twitch, it was 85% to 15%. And on YouTube, it was 28 to 71, which is not correct. I am assuming 28 to 72. So that's actual maths. So, Lucida, this is now your time to explain yourself. Why do you think such a thing? What makes, in your opinion, Gravis superior to Terminator? What don't you like about it? And what can you say to convince others to come on your side? You've got to try and increase those numbers. The Terminator helmets look like hippo heads. Their back look blocking with 90-degree corners. And it's overall too blocky to look functional. That's a dumb reason. I agree with the hippo heads. Wrong! Hippos are dangerous, to be fair. Whereas Gravis is nicely rounded and streamlined, the hood over the helmet is nice and overall actual streamlined and functional. Somehow, above all odds, you actually improved. More people agreed with you, or at least a high percentage. But congratulations, you are innocent, I think. Innocent? Court adjourned? Get out. Just... You know what? Just fucking get out of my courtroom. Aglaval. Are you here? There's a loud bird outside. There is a screaming raven. I like the change from 9th to 10th edition simplifications, e.g. unit loadout. Okay, here we go. Starting the polls, which has had a neutral option. There is no neutral options, Henry Wong, in Hot Take Court. You are either agree or disagree. You either love it or hate it. There's no middle ground here. No middle ground allowed. No nuance in Hot Take Court. Yeah, so this is going to be your problem, Aglaval. You've got to now try and convince the people who don't like 10th that 10th is good. So the game, even in this simplified form, provides ample space for complexity and trimming some of the parts to make it so that new players can enter the place. That I agree. Funnily enough, both Twitch and YouTube here, exactly the same percentage. Both 77% yes. So those who think 10th is bad, what don't you like about it so that Aglaval can try and change your mind? It simply has helped with the large growth of 40k, but half the army's got boring codexes. Which codexes do you think are boring? Here's a question. This is what Hot Take Court was all about. I'm going to start grilling you more. As Homebrew creator, 10th makes it way easier to design more units. 10th is awesome for homebrewing. 10th is lovely for homebrewing, especially for stuff like detachments. 10th is the edition I joined, so might have been kind of screwed. Yeah, I think that was the point earlier. Like, people who joined 9th or 10th probably like 10th. I think we had this conversation yesterday where the whole problem was is people who have played Warhammer for a while don't like 10th.
Why would I want new players if they don't like the game I like? If they do like it, they join anyway. It's just chaos for sci-fi.
But
a big F you to fans.
No, this is a very different thing, Ivy. So again, like with a lot of things, this is not exclusive to Warhammer or Games Workshop. Change has to be made to allow people into the game. 10th edition is exactly a completely new game. everyone's turned off to Ivy now. It's like not even the person in court. Aglaval, you're free to go. Everyone's turning on Ivy now. I don't see it as a big FU to the fans. Oh, Ivy with the absolute. Oh, if I could find songs quicker, this would be great. So I'm just gonna fucking play Pepsi Man. You're all dumb, therefore proving my point that 10th is a dumb game for dumb dummies. Absolutely savage. It looks like Aglaval, you'll be free to go. I think more people agree with you now, just because Ivy was the defense of the lawyer defense. The defense lawyer, and just straight up tanked their side. But you still win because more people, you somehow got the few people who weren't on your side. And I don't think you did anything. Local bearings. Get your bearings and get in here. You got a minute. Oh, this one's gonna cook. This one, you've opened the hell gates on this one. Black Templar should never have been created as a chapter in the worst faction subfaction in all of Warhammer. Now, I see you, Reddit. I think it was on the Black Templar subreddit. Someone made a post about the hot take video where someone had a hot take about Black Templars. And suddenly I was being dragged into it like it was my fucking opinion. People tell me things. People link me to these things. Imperial Guard players. There was a post on the Imperial Guard Reddit with linked my Imperial Guard video of a guy like, oh, I can't believe all this Imperial Guard hate. And most people, fortunately, were like, it's a shitpost, mate. Let's not go... Right, ladies and gentlemen's agreement. We're not going to go down the some Black Templar players are a little weird. Let's not go down that route. We don't need to talk about that. We're talking specifically here about Black Templars in the lore in game. We don't need to talk about the kind of players that Black Templar sometimes attract, because there's a lot of very nice Black Templar players. Steve plays Black Templar, and as far as I know, he's not racist. Ian's a Battle, who is an excellent YouTuber, very wholesome, Centurion lover, plays Black Templars. Interestingly, 57% say no and 61%. So it's close to 50-50.
Word bears are zealots and DAR better knight.
I know you meant word bearers, but word bears is a... Anyone out there who's struggling with a name for their custom chapter, word bears, right there. But your entire chapter is like, we're the word bears. Oh, don't you mean word bears? Like, no. We're the word bears. We will maul you to death. Word bears versus Iron Warriors. Maybe Black Templar is... I feel like there is this kind of divide, right? Super edgy. I feel like the fact that they're edgy is one of those ones where when something is turbo edgy, it's quite fun to just be turbo edgy. But I think the problem with that is sometimes it's taken seriously. Thank you.
Emperor's children are just so wildly bland, clearly the worst chapter. Why would you call the group of people focused on being sex pists children?
What?
Clearly the worst faction.
Okay. We're talking about Black Templars at the moment. Black Templars. There's an argument about space walls going on? What is happening? I think we can...
Whoa, Mastro, 18 Thunderwolves be upon ye.
I don't even need to stream anymore. I can just let you guys do it.
Despite my saying they're cringe, I think Templars have earned their place in the lore. They shouldn't get unique models over first founding chapters.
That's the thing that I find crazy, the fact that it's not a founding chapter. Right, I'm doing the poll. Damn.
Every faction/subfaction is someone's favorite. If you think that any shouldn't exist just cause you don't like them, you're a toxic player.
Interesting.
I'm the toxic player.
I can't remember what the numbers were before. I think you've somehow got more people to agree with you. You might be free to go. Wouldn't even need to make a video of this. It's been enough money today. It's not even about the money. This is just gonna be a hard video to make. It's just chaos. Hey, look at that, Comrade Viper. You just became a prim. Look at you now. Oh boy, honestly, this might be cold, but it has to be said. Okay, let's hear it then. Rogal Dorns were a stupid idea and should never have existed. True. Leman Rust had always been the main tank of the Extra Retirement. That and Baneblades. Ooh, interesting. Do people want a middle ground between the Lemon Rusts and the Beyblade? They made them just better, so this Rust spam, which is what I always picture as Extra Retirement, isn't nearly the same anymore. When you can still Rust spam though, right? So you got 58% no and 62% no. So roughly 60% no's on this. Let's try and get those yeses higher, I guess. Here we go. We got some good answers here. Let's put on the thinking music. Thinking. I've not been utilizing the this, because it doesn't fucking work. They were made just to sell more tanks to guard players. The commander variant in particular is just so good there's no reason not to take one. As such, it was just a cash grab with game effects to make it sell. Casual games feel bad when you play against them. I think you may have made more people disagree with you with this. I feel like when people say, oh, it was just made to sell more tanks, it's like, well, yes, obviously they wanted to sell tanks because that's their job, is to sell cool things. They don't feel bad for casual games if you have a Void Dragon. As for the first point, I should have clarified that it made them better than Russes. Well, I mean, they are better than Russes, but they're all expensive than Russes. Isn't that the point? They are it's like the Baneblade is better than a Russ because it's bigger and better, right? Comrade Viper, it's not looking good for you. But more people are disagreeing with you now. I don't know what changed. I think maybe it was your arguments. It looks like you might be the first person that we are going to find guilty. Comrade Viper, you have been found guilty of having a take that is... I'm not really sure how to describe it. You're guilty of something, all right? You did something wrong, and you need to be punished. And so what I want from you, I want you to make a picture. MS Paint or whatever. You don't like the fact that it goes Leman Russ, Rogal Dorn, Baneblade. You want it to be Leman Russ, Trade the Baneblade. I will punish you by making you do even more of it. So we have Leman Russ, Rogal Dorn, Baneblade. I want you to draw a Leman Russ, an in-between between that and a Rogal Dorn, then a Rogal Dorn, then the in-between of a Rogal Dorn, and then a Baneblade, and then a Baneblade. You have been punished. Could get out of my sight. Mr. Flappy Fun Parts, GW should remove 12 or 13 of the current factions or add them into other factions. Holy, right. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. Volcano cannon ass take. Finally, an actual hot take. Remove this man's flappy parts. The fuck is wrong with you, Twitch, letting people like this lunatic into your house? What an ass take. Remove his knees. I love the punishments that people have. Mods make him paint 120k to inspire him into the sun. Oh, moist cavity map. That's horrible. No one knows breathing. Ugh. Why do Space Wolves, Salamanders, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Emperor's Children, all of the Marines get their own codexes? These cults could just be Tyranids extras. So I guess you would have Eldari, Drukari, and Harlequins in one book. You'd have Tyranids and GC cults. Votan, Necrons, Orcs, all the Space Marines in one, all the Chaos Space Marines in another. Imperial, so like Admech Sisters, Imperial Agents, but no one cares about Imperial Agents. No one fucking Grey Knights and Agents.
Expecting Space Marines 13 times.
Space Marines 13. That would have, if you had said that, that would have been hilarious. That you would have actually probably turned everyone around if you said it Space Marines 13 times.
Your Honor, my client is batshit insane. He is a Twitch brother. But I'd quote he is saying.
Oh my god. This will make the game easier to learn and cheaper for new players. Would it make it cheaper? I play Admech. I've already used enough money. Oh, okay. We understand. It's okay, guys. They're an Admech player. Of course they're insane. 20% of YouTube agree now. It was 13. I think people are just doing it because it's funny at this point. All right, the poll is over. Somehow, against all odds, you actually made that one out alive. However, there is something called I'm the streamer. I can decide if I basically want to just cast no on you. And so I will still find you guilty. Your punishment shall be to add a faction. I want you to create a faction. It's like just a MS Paint doodle of just a silly one. You would want to see added. And then you may rest in peace on that hill as you have desired.
Huh?
To experiment 149, I already disagree. Wow. Come on now. They haven't even said their hot take. Let them have their chance. Order, please. Order, please. My broadcast was 7 seconds behind, and yet, through the power of your magic, you were 7 seconds behind, but you got there in 6 seconds. So you were minus 1 second when you said, how do you? So you already knew you were going to be picked a second early. 84% yes over on YouTube. This is going to be tricky for you to get those numbers up, but we'll see what you can do. I think 40k should be more goofy. 40k is goofy. It's a very silly thing. More Stiltmen for more factions. Exactly, Sierra. Experiment 149. Whether or not more or less people agree with you. I'm not finding you guilty. I like where your head's at. I just want to see your. I just want to see your insane ideas. Just put them in Discord. I just want to see what you can come up with. You are also guilty because in order for me to give you this punishment, you have to be guilty. So you've probably done something wrong in your life. All right. Okay. You've done something wrong. You're a wrong'un, and I want you to get out of my courtroom. M5A. I think guards should be the main characters in all of the starting boxes, and the entire game should be balanced around the guards. Basically, it should be a small side faction like every other side faction. Custodians should be removed. Wow, this is gonna be. I love briefly seeing the fact that it was 100% no. Every single unit will probably get a boost and could have more flavor if the guard was the center, since everything could be a little more powerful. Right, you're on 76% no. Based, but put him in the mulch. Not really just points either, since there would be more people playing guard, so you could have more lore-accurate battles too. Instead of just having 20 people show up with Space Marines, it would be 20 people showing up with different types of guards. So basically, you just want more guard players. I'm gonna have to rock your socks. I've got a tournament coming up this weekend. There are 43 players. I am the only Codex-compliant Space Marine player going. I'm the only one. There are 2 Deathwatch players, there are 2 Dark Angels players, and I think there's a Blood Angels player. There's 3 Admech players and 2 Guard players. Here's the problem with your take, M5A, is you have Ivy and Happy Flaps on your side. And those are not the people you want on your side. End of the poll. YouTube is slightly less, but Twitch flipped. Twitch flipped on you hard. And unfortunately, as I am the arbiter of judgment, I do find you guilty for liking guard too much. Your punishment is to MS Paint me a Space Marine dunking on a guardsman in a game of basketball. Ace of Dragons. But like Ace of Dragons gets picked a lot. Chaos Codices should be revised, specifically. Divas and Chaos Space should be fallen into one, which they kind of already are, to be fair. And then Knights into Dark Mech, and I assume other Knights into Admech. And Tzaangors get their own codex. Okay, you had to slip that one in there. This is like when, you know, how they pass laws and stuff where they have to, they have a law which is like, you know, solve problem. And then they have a little thing in there which goes, oh, also cause problem. Yeah, what was saying? You got people to agree, like, you got high numbers agree, then you went, oh, also Tzaangors, which people are going to disagree with, but now they don't know what to do with the vote. Bro, it's just court, then shot themselves. Very true. Right, I think we can just quickly go straight back to voting on this one. I'm changing the rules just for you, Ace of Dragons, because you've clearly got an agenda. Do you agree that Tzaangors should be their own faction? That is now what we're asking about. Order in the court. Ace of Dragons, get rotated, idiot. I want you to draw the cover art of the Tzaangor Codex, but all the Tzaangors are very sad, or they're like protesting saying, please take us seriously. That is all. Nick Fury from YouTube. Do you know what's going on? Welcome him. Do you have a hot warhammer take? Because if you do not, it's okay. We'll find someone else. But you said judge me, which implies that you have a hot warhammer take. Oh, good. Thanks. Sorry, I just followed the crowd. All right, you know what? I respect it. Verninator. Ooh, subfractions. Maths are getting involved. Subfractions are better than detachments. He meant subfactions. He meant subfactions. The fact that subfactions autocorrects to subfractions makes me think that you do a lot of maths. Is that true? I have a math exam tomorrow. Why are you here? We got a math exam tomorrow. What do you consider the difference between a subfaction and a detachment so that we can better understand where you're coming from? Subfactions are different groups in lore. Detachments are simply different playstyles. Huh? I don't quite get it. I'm still not getting it. You need to help me here. Because one feels like it's a lore thing, one feels like it's a gameplay thing, right? Is this a rules thing, or would you have been okay if detachments were just named after subfactions? I think detachments should be themed around subfactions similar to the Space Marine Codex. Instead of just generic playstyles we get in most. But I mean, they kind of are. I don't like. Give us an example, please. I'd like to see an example. Because, for example, obviously with the, Vanguard Spearhead is Raven Guard, right? In the Chaos Space Marine Codex, for example, you've got a Night Lords one, an Iron Hands one, right? I'm not quite... I'd like... Orcs as well, you've got a Speed Freaks one. What's an example of what you mean by this? Because those have a character detachment. They do. Oh, I guess you mean that should be based on a sub-faction, not just a style. But I mean, they kind of are, right? The reason they're named that way is in most cases to not make players, especially new players, feel forced with the list. Yeah, that's why they changed it, right? So Vanguard Spearhead isn't Raven Guard. You can do a Vanguard Spearhead with anything, but it is Raven Guard themed. The new detachments they released, right? The Tyranid one is Jawmonger. The Chaos one is Word Bearers. The Dark Angels one is just the Dark Angels, I guess. Is that what you mean? Like the Dark Angels one should be like specifically thick because they obviously have a Raven Wing, a Death Wing, and a something. Have unnecessary removed flavor in favor of just having generic detachments. I think it's just a case of you find the one that fits, right? You may have screwed yourself here. I think you confused the court. Oh, this might be the biggest turnaround we've seen. You went from 50-50 to 86% no. Yeah, Verdinator. I'm sorry to tell you this. I don't even need the rest of the vote to go through. Okay, at least you accept your fate. You know what's coming. You've been found guilty of first confusing the court and then delivering a take and then defending that take and getting more people to disagree with you, which is very exciting. And thus your punishment. Yeah, create a new detachment with no law. You must create a purely generic detachment. MS Paint for diagrams is always fun. We're going to supersonic racing you and take you out of the court. Davis Kane over on Twitch. Mechanicum 30k Horus Heresy models are stylistically superior to any of their 40k range, not even close. They should move back to this style for 40k going forward. Here's your problem. I'm going to put this into the poll. This straight up might be the highest. Yes, you're going to struggle here. I don't think we even need to do the revote on this one. I'll see. We'll see. Colder than Cole's nuts. I don't know about that. Well, it's not, only 76%. Yes, I thought it'd be more. I'm ready to convince a few naysayers. Yeah, okay. You might as well start trying to convince the naysayers now, I think. There's so many yeses at this point. What do you say to the naysayers? All right, oh, God. He was fucking prepared. Jesus. Davis Kane was ready. Yeah, he was prepped for this. He had his homework. He had it laid out all nice in a folder. He had evidence ready. Exhibit A. Heresy era looks heavier and combat orientated and fits stylistically into the utilitarian machine cult that they represent. The new 40k leans into goofy tech. I do not want my flying units to have Icarus paper wings and don't get to be started on Stilt Boy. Oh, here's your problem. You can see chat is unhappy. So many people agreed with you. And then you brought Stilty Boy into it. You brought Leggy Boy into the mix. And you have you have made everyone very angry. Yeah, you have chosen death. You prepared your arguments so well, but you did not research your audience. You've entered a room and gone, Horus Heresy Admech is better. And everyone's gone, yeah, I agree. The Leggy Boy sucks, and everyone's just got their guns out and have turned around and shot you. And he's doubling down. We can just go straight into the poll at this point. Oh my God. That's fully flipped. You were like 77% yes, and now it's 77% no. Oh my God. This might be the biggest flip. You did everything right. You had a take that you had, 75% yes. So you had a few naysayers you wanted to try and convince. You were ready with arguments. You fumbled so hard. You had the game-winning catch. No, the Hail Mary was thrown to you. All you had to do was catch it. And you fumbled. This is we call that tripping on your own. It's not a stumble to stand to one's principles. Well, speaking of standing, you have been judged by your peers. I demand, nay... Wait, there's nothing I demand. I should have said, I require, nay, demand. I'll do that again for the edit. Sorry, everyone, reset everyone. Everyone reset. We need this for when I do the video. Reset this one. What music was I playing? Davis Kane. You have been found guilty by your peers. I require, nay, I demand that you draw yourself as the leggiest leggy boy having a good time and get out of my courtroom. Such slander. I don't want to see you in here again. Dragon Shinobi. Oh, really? Really? I'm not lying. I only got to 40k tabletop back in January, so still. Well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's always good to get opinions from new players. Perhaps you might have an opinion that is wrong and you may need to be educated. Or, as a new player with a different perspective, you might have an opinion that makes other people go, oh, that's interesting. New players' opinions are always good. Always good to know. Just don't panic. Just honestly, just don't panic, I say. Fine, just don't panic. There's no need to panic. Really, you don't need to panic. Just don't. Just say what you say. Don't panic. Just really don't panic. You do not need to panic. It's really okay. Do not panic. I think all units' armies should just have sticky objective by default. I don't like having to leave units to hold objectives and they feel wasted. This is really interesting. I don't agree with it, but I can totally see why they say that. I'll tell you my opinion straight off the bat. So here's the thing. I disagree because I think there is a point of having like something you need to hold your home objective, or you could bring something that does have sticky, and it's a good way of making sure having something staying back is a little bit more tactical in there. However, I like the idea of one of the, those twist cards that they have now. One of those just being everything is sticky. I'm not going to do a repoll on this one because this is a great take because I don't think I agree. But I do think this would make for an interesting variation on the game. Like a slightly different rule set, which is like, more fights because you can just sticky objectives and jump in and then there's a bit more going around. This is the best take of the day. Dragon Shinobi, you have done well. You've done well. You've given us all something to really think about. And therefore, you have succeeded. You are not guilty. /joke take, you should be able to take 2 armies at half cost, for example, 2k point games, 2 1k point armies. That's also very fun. You're basically just making a bunch of fun different game modes. Become a game designer. You have some fun ideas. Upkeep Warrior, 30 seconds. 10th edition would be better with wargear and taking out takes out 80% of list flavor. Ooh. I've had this has come up a few times, I think. 80%? Where are you getting that number from? Where are you getting 80% from? Can you show your working, please? That was a panic number RNG'd in my head. Oh, come on now. If you're coming into this court and you're putting out numbers, I want them backed up with data, all right? Let's not be throwing out statistics like they're willy-nilly like that. Come on now. 10th edition, I can follow that number because it is indeed the 10th edition. Let's not, as a community, let's agree. Let's not be making up numbers now. As you all know, 80% of statistics are made up. Oh, this is reversible. That's not 80%. I've none of my legendary war gear for my commandos. I have no reason not to take all the cool toys. Here's the thing. The unit I always bring up for this are Drukhari Scourges. And the reason that I do that is because in 9th edition, they were cheaper than they are in 10th, but you had to pay for the Darkland. So you just paid for the Darkland. Now they're expensive because you got to pay for the Darkness anyway. Also, we have nothing to fill out points without paid war gear. Something you have to consider is 1995 points. It's annoying. It just doesn't sound very nice. It makes my list of building sad. But it is such a tiny percent that it doesn't really matter. This is the problem with that, Ivy, though, is there was never really a decision in 9th. Because if the unit had shit weapons, you just wouldn't take them. And if they had good weapons, you would take them for the weapons, and so you'd pay the premium. There was never really any in between. I think this is one of those takes that it's always going to divide. It's always going to be divisive. Here's my punishment for you. And this is going to be one that you're not going to like. I'm really hitting you hard. I'm making an example of you, unfortunately. The next time you play a game of 40k, 10th edition, your army list must be 1,990 points. And those 10 points, they're mine. They're my 10 points. When you look at your list and you play your next game and you know there's 10 points left on the table, you'll think of me and I will be laughing at you. Ha 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 ha. I'm taking those 10 points and I'm keeping them for myself. In my pocket. I am a monster, but get out of my sight. This is my court and I'll be the monster if I want to be. Anyway.